Port Authority bus terminal broke ground today. The project will overhaul the old terminal and revamp the area.
New York City, the city that never sleeps, never stops, and never stops building. Right now, tens of thousands of construction workers are hard at work, reshaping the skyline and the very ground beneath our feet. Underground skyscrapers, train stations being rebuilt without closing a single track, and even man-made islands designed to protect the planet. This is $35 billion in bold, boundary-pushing projects. Today, we're counting down the 5 most ambitious construction feats transforming NYC. Terminals that handle 250,000 passengers a day, towers that defy gravity, and engineering marvels that are rewriting what we thought was possible. Get ready to see the future of the Big Apple being built before your eyes. A new climate hub. At number 5, you won't believe what's rising in New York Harbor. Meet the New York Climate Exchange. 172 acres of reclaimed island transformed into the world's first living laboratory for climate solutions. This $700 million eco-fortress isn't just a research center, it's a bold experiment asking one urgent question. Can we redesign our cities to heal the planet? The engineering is groundbreaking. 2 fully electric buildings made from mass timber, sustainable wood that captures carbon, are linked by a sweeping solar canopy that generates enough energy to power the entire complex. This facility is set to meet the living building challenge, producing more energy than it consumes, treating 100% of its wastewater, and diverting 95% of its waste from landfills. The scale is staggering. 400,000 square feet of research space, 600 post-secondary students, 4,500 K-12 students, 6,000 workforce trainees annually, more than 2,200 union jobs, and a $1 billion economic impact. And to withstand the future, the entire campus is elevated 8 feet above sea level, built to survive the climate crisis itself. Could this be the blueprint every coastal city adopts to endure the next century? Only time will tell.
The Great Overbuild. That was number 5, but number 4 takes ambition to an entirely new level. Hudson Yards Phase 2. Already a symbol of human ingenuity, Phase 1 dazzled with towering office buildings, 30 floors of retail, and the vessel, a bold, divisive architectural statement. But Phase 2? Phase 2 makes Phase 1 look like just a warm-up. This isn't a $1 million project, it's $12 billion, bringing Hudson Yards' total investment to $32 billion, the largest private real estate development in U.S. history. The plan includes 3 super-tall skyscrapers, including an 80-story residential tower soaring 1,189 feet and a 1,366-foot office colossus. It will add 4,000 new homes, 625 permanently affordable, 2 million square feet of office space, a 5.6-acre park the size of Bryant Park, a K-8 school, and a daycare center. The impact? 35,000 construction jobs, 5,000 permanent positions, and nearly $500 million in annual tax revenue for New York City. The entire development sits atop a massive platform built directly over active Long Island Railroad tracks. Yes, trains carrying hundreds of thousands of commuters rush beneath, while crews construct skyscrapers, parks, and schools above. Phase 2 is slated for completion by 2032, and by then, Hudson Yards will have completely transformed 28 acres of Manhattan's West Side, turning abandoned lots into one of the most ambitious urban developments in history. The Impossible Terminal. Number 3 on our list is the Port Authority Bus Terminal, the world's busiest bus terminal. Built in 1950, it now handles over 250,000 passenger trips on a typical weekday, yet after 75 years, it's literally falling apart. Here's the nightmare. Engineers must completely demolish and rebuild this terminal while keeping it fully operational. No bus routes can be canceled, no commuters delayed, and the terminal must continue serving New Jersey travelers who rely on it every day. The new terminal will be partially constructed over active Lincoln tunnel approaches and rail yards, where trains run 24/7. To manage this, the Port Authority awarded a $1.871 billion contract for an interim terminal to temporarily house buses while the main terminal is rebuilt. Once finished, it will serve as permanent bus storage, removing 300 idling buses from Manhattan streets. Phase 1 involves building deckovers over Dyer Avenue and the Lincoln Tunnel Expressway, essentially creating new land out of thin air over active roadways, all while traffic flows below. These decks will eventually provide 3.5 acres of public green space. The total project cost? $10 billion, with $1.9 billion from a federal loan. The new terminal will feature 2.1 million square feet of space, a 5-story main terminal on 8th Avenue, bus storage for 350 buses, up from 50, and a helix-shaped ramp system connecting to the Lincoln Tunnel. This will increase capacity from 600 buses per hour to over 1,000, create 6,000 union jobs, and accommodate NJ Transit's all-electric net-zero emissions fleet with 21st century technology. The biggest challenge? Modern buses are 45 feet long and 102 inches wide, far larger than the buses the original 1950 terminal was designed for. Engineers aren't just rebuilding a terminal, they're reimagining it for a fleet that didn't exist when it was first built. Construction broke ground in May 2025, with the interim phase expected to finish in 2029 and the main terminal slated for completion in 2032. For decades, the terminal has been a confusing eyesore, with poorly designed bathrooms and a labyrinthine layout even regular commuters struggle to navigate. But by 2032, this $10 billion transformation will create a world-class gateway to Manhattan, featuring a multi-story atrium, natural light throughout, retail corridors, and capacity to handle projected growth through 2050. And here's the kicker. They're achieving all of this without ever shutting down a single bus route.
Reimagining a station. Every day, 650,000 passengers pass through Penn Station, more than all three of New York's major airports combined. As America's busiest train station in the heart of Northeast Corridor Rail, it's straining under its own success. The Empire Station Complex is a multi-billion-dollar vision to completely reinvent Penn Station and reshape 6 city blocks around it. The plan includes 20 million square feet of mixed-use space, 20 new buildings, 8 development sites spanning 30th to 34th Streets, 8 new underground tracks boosting capacity by 40%, and 5 super-tall skyscrapers ranging from 1,000 to 1,300 feet. Once complete, the station could serve 830,000 daily passengers by 2038. Here's the crisis. Penn Station was designed for 40,000 people per hour, yet in 2015 it was handling 65,000, 62.5% over capacity. Without intervention, by 2032 it could reach 375% over capacity. The station isn't just old, it's drowning in traffic. Now imagine the engineering nightmare. Renovate the world's busiest train station while keeping it fully operational. Over 1,000 train movements daily. Amtrak, NJ Transit, and Long Island Railroad, all using 21 tracks. There is no shutdown, no pause button, no room for error. It's like rebuilding a 747 mid-flight while passengers are still boarding, flying at cruising altitude. In August 2025, the U.S. Department of Transportation and Amtrak announced construction will begin by the end of 2027, with Amtrak leading under federal directives. The project has faced opposition from community groups and lawmakers concerned about demolishing 6 blocks of buildings and displacing residents. But one thing is clear, something has to be done. When finished, the Empire Station Complex won't just be a train station, it will be a massive interconnected mega hub. Soaring atriums flooded with natural light, 30 new escalators and elevators, a 30,000 square foot public plaza, a transportation cathedral rivaling Grand Central. Serving nearly 1 million people per day, it will redefine the future of New York City's transit infrastructure. The upside-down tower. Standing 1,663 feet tall with 90 stories and 2 million square feet, this will be Manhattan's tallest structure by roof height, surpassing even Central Park Tower. But here's the kicker. It's completely upside down. Every skyscraper you've ever seen follows one basic rule. Start wide at the bottom, taper as you rise. It's how gravity works. It's how buildings don't collapse. Affirmation Tower throws that rule out the window. Its inverted design stacks massive blocks outward as the building rises, expanding 5 times from its narrow base. The upper levels are dramatically larger than the lower ones. The narrowest part is at the bottom. Would you dare walk inside? Would you trust your life to a building that defies everything we know about physics? Designed by Sir David Agay, the mind behind the National Museum of African American History and Culture, this tower uses progressive cantilever in engineering with vertical stone bands wrapping the facade. From a distance, it creates a pixelated sci-fi effect, making it look like something out of the future. Inside, it will house 2 hotels, office space, observation deck, ice skating rink, and NAACP headquarters. The project is projected to generate 30,000 construction jobs over 6 years, 15,000 permanent positions, and $5 billion in tax revenue over 3 decades. But here's the historic part. Affirmation Tower will be the first Manhattan skyscraper developed by a majority Black-owned team, including the People's Corporation, the oldest minority and women-owned design and construction firm in the U.S. They're making history by defying gravity itself. Currently on hold, awaiting regulatory approval, this gravity-defying colossus could redefine what's possible in skyscraper design. Sometimes the best way to reach new heights is to flip everything upside down. There you have it. 5 mega projects literally reshaping New York City. Which one impresses you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more epic engineering feats from around the world.